Within the next couple of days, we are going to see the premiere of Netflix and Marvel's newest show, Iron Fist. But up until this point, there has been some negative criticism coming towards the show. There's been really low scores on Rotten Tomatoes. A lot of critics have said this is the worst Marvel show. It's one of the worst things Marvel has put out. So, why is that? What makes this one different than anything we've seen with Luke Cage or Jessica Jones? I think it has to do with nobody reading the comics. And I know that sounds bad. You don't have to read the comics to enjoy a TV show or a movie. But one of the biggest criticisms is that Danny Rand is a Caucasian male. And I understand why people might feel like that's a bad choice, because the character knows martial arts. He's from an ancient city somewhere in the Himalayas. Why isn't he an Asian portrayed character? Why isn't he an Asian lead? I get why there's that criticism. But you have to look at it this way. No matter who they cast as Danny Rand, Iron Fist would get this criticism no matter what. Look at it as this. You portray the character as an Asian American, he's going to be stereotyped as a character who knows Kung Fu, martial arts, because he's Asian, because he comes from this mythic place, this big place with magic and dragons and all that. That's going to be perceived as a stereotyped Asian character. And if you cast a Caucasian male, a white actor, like they did with Finn Jones, the character is going to be like, why didn't they just cast an Asian? There's always going to be that criticism. There's no win situation for Marvel here. No matter what they did, they could cast Finn Jones, they could cast an Asian actor as Danny Rand, and just change his name completely. They could do so many different things. They could cast anybody. There's going to be criticism. But the problem that bothers me is they're sticking to the source material. If your criticism is they're sticking to the source material in the way their character is portrayed, that's not very good criticism. Talk more about the show, the characters, the story, the way it develops, the sets, all that. Don't just say, like, it's a missed opportunity that the character isn't Asian, and that's why the show is bad. The show could be bad. I haven't seen it. The show could be terrible, but I'm not going to focus on the fact that Finn Jones is a lead and he could have been Asian. That's not what I'm going to focus about when I review the show. I'm going to focus on everything else. The show could have been good, and I think it is going to be good. We have to get over this stigma that it should be an Asian character. It shouldn't. I'm perfectly okay, and every fan is, that they cast Finn Jones as Danny Rand. Because Danny Rand is a Caucasian male in the comic books. His whole story is that he's this outsider to a foreign land, and he becomes their greatest fighter. That's not stereotyping an Asian man. Sure, the Asian man could be a foreigner to the Kunlun. But the fact that it's this white male makes it a bigger deal for the whole culture because he's this outsider. And I do feel we're going to see a lot of the Asian culture and Kunlun portrayed very well in Iron Fist. So I don't think that should be a problem that the character is Caucasian. Now, I understand you have to look at these things as, how are they going to get news? How are they going to get people to see it? It's a quick way to review it. The lead should be Asian. But that shouldn't be your biggest drawaway. There should be so much more you talk about. And maybe there is. Maybe you will after the show. Maybe you'll see those things after the show. And maybe after the fans see it, we'll get a bigger understanding and perception of it too. But you look at somebody like Finn Jones, who's read these negative reviews. He's digging himself into a grave. You should not have to say that your show is for fans and only for fans. Don't say that, Finn. That makes it look like you don't care what the critics say. You should. That's going to get people invested in your show, not just fans. The fans are a small majority of the people that watch TV, that watch movies, that read the comics. Well, maybe not comics. Everyone that reads the comics is a fan. But for the whole wider cinema and all that, it's not just fans. It's people who are interested in seeing something different. So, saying your show is just for the fans, there's not a lot of Iron Fist fans. And I'm a huge fan of Iron Fist. But we're a small minority of people that like Iron Fist. We're not the Captain Americas or the Iron Mans. We're a small group of people. If it's just for the fans, it's not going to be a big enough reception. You have to have a broader audience, a more mainstream audience. So don't say that. And I think he also said he blames Donald Trump for this. I'm not going to get political. I'm not. I don't give a shit who's the president, all that. Don't say that. Don't say because a new white billionaire is now in power and he's been perceived as bad is the reason nobody likes Iron Fist and nobody relates to the character. Finn, that is bullshit. Don't say that. You're just digging yourself a grave and you're not going to be able to get out. I like you as an actor. I respect you. But be a decent person and understand that if they cast an Asian in the role, they get the same criticism as why didn't they cast it to the source material. It's going to happen, and I'm sorry for you, but you gotta understand this is the business. And maybe I don't know anything, maybe I'm just overreacting, but Finn, I'm really sorry, dude. I wish you the best of luck, and I really hope Iron Fist is good. So that's going to do it for me. If you have any thoughts or opinions on Iron Fist, let me know. I'm excited to see the series. I will be reviewing it. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Good luck.